Well, thank you. And it's a pleasure to be here and to really affirm the United States' commitment to this joint effort, the Reskilling Revolution. And it's something that we have been deeply focused on in the United States, making sure that our booming economy works for all Americans and that nobody is left behind or forgotten. So we are believers, and you heard the president's speech yesterday. It was highly optimistic about what is in store in the future. We believe in innovation. We don't want to bridle or harness that. But with innovation comes opportunity, new industries that are being created that never existed before. Look at the growth in cloud computing. Mark knows this as well as anyone. He was an original signer of our pledge committing to reskilling 1 million people over the next 5 years. So we thank you for that, Mark. But there are industries that are being created that require new skills, and there are industries that are being disrupted, and then there are industries that are continuing, but the people working in those jobs today are going to require new skills to do their same job tomorrow. So we are taking a holistic approach to this at the United States government and look forward to this convening and opportunity to learn from each other. We've certainly learned on the apprenticeship front. There are great examples here in Switzerland, in Germany. One of my first foreign trips was to Berlin, where I toured Siemens, one of the world-class examples of on-the-job training and apprenticeship. So there's much we can learn from each other. America is trying to harness the interest of business in the shared goal of ensuring that the next generation of American student and the current generation of worker has the skills they need to succeed in the jobs of today and tomorrow. That's why we created our Pledge to America's Workers, which has become, at this point, really a full-blown movement with over 400 companies signing the pledge to reskill close to 15 million American students and workers. And that's 15 million lives impacted, 15 million families impacted, and opportunities created. And it really is an incredible experience. I've toured much of the country, visited close to every state, looking at these type of programs, and the question was about the synergies between the private sector and the public sector, and it's critical. Industry knows what jobs they are going to be creating and what jobs they are going to be displacing. They know far ahead of the government which investments they're making in productivity, which will cause a ripple effect within their workforce. At the same time, corporations more than ever feel a sense of civic obligation. And what better place to start than within your own family, within your own company? And we think that that is very important. So we're catalyzing a lot of action. We're also working as a government to create a national workforce strategy for the first time ever, combining 14 federal agencies to come up with a blueprint, not just for rethinking education K through 12, but how do we prioritize 0 to 5, which has been underinvested in, and then also post-22, which very little federal and state funding goes towards, except if it's, really advanced degrees. So how do we start to think about education and learning as a lifelong pursuit, not compartmentalized to a very short period of time in the arc of one's life? So the National Workforce Strategy aims to answer some of those questions. Separately, we've put together a council, an advisory council that has helped informed our work, and we have representatives from state and local governments represented. We have academia represented. We have some of the great entrepreneurs and innovators and largest employers in America, all lending their expertise. And we assign them with a very specific and tactical mission, which was not to come to us with a report or ideas that were redundant of that which we were already doing, but a defined set of deliverables that they were in a unique position to execute on. The first thing we asked this advisory council to do was develop a national ad campaign in partnership with us in the Ad Council, but it's private sector funded, private sector driven, to really debunk myths around certain types of industries. You look at manufacturing in America, there's 500,000 vacant manufacturing jobs. And yet there's really no robust pipeline of feeder into it. So people need to know about the jobs that exist today and be informed of the pathways that exist to fill them. In the IT space, Mark knows this well, the number of job vacancies they have, but many of them don't require a four-year college degree. So creating this national brand campaign, which was unveiled by Ginny Rometty and Tim Cook, who are on our council today, is very important. And I'll bang through the next
That's a
three.
great segue into Mark, yeah.
Yeah, no, the next one is just data transparency. We need to do a better job of connecting workers with job vacancies and people based on the skills they have rather than the degrees they hold with the jobs that are available. Modernizing recruitment and hiring practices. Mark and I have spoken extensively about this, how our traditional forms that require you to list your credentials and preclude many people who have the skills, but maybe they were formerly incarcerated, or maybe they have the skills but don't have the credential. So not eliminating people from that pool. And then lastly, just getting the private sector to increase their investment in this training of their workforce and think about it in a rigorous, disciplined way.